In the meantime, if you look at the real estate ads for homes in Samford Valley, the adjectives quaint and quiet are often bandied about. It's not so quiet at the moment, apparently. Residents are making a lot of noise about fire ant baiting that's been carried out on their properties that's being dropped by helicopter, I think it is. Sarah McGuire is one of those residents. Sarah McGuire, is there a fire ant problem in the Samford Valley at the moment?
No, not at all. Never seen one here, never heard of one here. And the only thing I really first heard of it was when we got brochures in the post saying we're now part of a treatment program.
So the Biosecurity Queensland is now dropping fire ant baiting in your area. When was the aerial baiting carried out?
The first one was the 26th of May. It was a Sunday morning, 7:30 a.m. We all woke up and all these helicopters are swooping around the valley and people are going, what on earth is going on here? You know, and you could see stuff coming out of them, and it was clearly going over our waterways because where they were dropping the baits. And so, yeah, we were all pretty concerned as to what was going on.
What can you tell me about what bait was used? You and other residents are apparently concerned about the effects of baiting on the waterways and on nature.
Yeah. Well, we'd heard that it was we saw them going over the waterways. So a few of us went up the creeks and saw these yellow baits everywhere, and took some photos and took some water samples. And luckily we have a local water tester who we were able to get them to immediately. And we just said, what is this stuff, you know? And then upon further research, I saw that they used two different chemicals for baiting. One that they said they can put into waterways, and the other one they cannot. So we just said, well, what is this bait? And after testing, it showed it was pyriproxyfen, which is the one that should not go into waterways, because it's highly toxic to aquatic life.
Has there been any effect as a result of the baiting or the chemicals that have been dropped?
Yeah, well, we've had a lot of residents actually come forward because there was a public meeting a few days after these helicopter drops, and it happened over 4 days as well. It wasn't just one day. And a lot of people said they had physical symptoms such as red eyes and red skin and burning skin. Even myself, after going up the creek, I had a burning face that day. But also we've seen thick geckos and lizards and that around the valley. We've had people reporting dogs with toxic high levels in their liver of toxicity. Horses with colic. And so, you know, we're sort of concerned now that it's more than just the aquatic life, because the aquatic life, they say it could have a long-term effect on aquatic life because it builds up, and it might not kill the fish immediately, but it can have long-lasting effects on our creeks.
Sarah McGuire is a resident in the Samford Valley. They've been concerned about aerial baiting of fire ant nests that have been undertaken by Biosecurity Queensland. This is 612 ABC Brisbane. So the residents don't believe that the aerial baiting was targeted accurately or properly, Sarah McGuire?
No, not at all. I mean, this is like preventative treatment, and they've even admitted there are no ants in your area, and they're trying to eradicate these creatures, but the fact is eradication really doesn't look likely, because any outbreaks that happen are usually because they're transferring mulch and hay out of infested zones, and that's when you might get an outlier. But in terms of actually doing an eradication program, we've researched it thoroughly now, and it really doesn't seem very feasible. And we also...
So can I clarify with you? So Biosecurity Queensland told you it's a preventative program. In other words, putting the baits there in case fire ants turn up in your area.
Yeah, just in case they show up, and it's like they only last for like 24 hours to 3 days, the baits. So they're putting all these baits over pristine land and waterways for something that's not even going to eat them, and that means it's going to just be eaten by non-target species, and it affects other ants too.
So what do locals want to see happen? I mean, the baiting has taken place, the aerial program is finished, they've dropped it everywhere. What do you want to see happen next?
Well, it hasn't finished. They've just postponed it for a couple of months. They said to review their procedures, but we're expected to receive this treatment 5 more times. It's going to be 6 times in total. And and when we got the report back, it just said the levels of pyriproxyfen wasn't even just there. It was alarmingly high and a serious pollution event. That was what was written in the report that was done independently. So we want a thorough review, really, of what they're doing and is this chemical really safe? There's no environmental impact studies either from what we can see.
I'll leave it there. Speak to you again. Sarah McGuire, thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah McGuire is a resident of the Samford Valley. I did request an interview with someone from the National Fire and Eradication Program. We were told that because the matter was currently being investigated, therefore they didn't want to participate in an interview at this time.